Hi and welcome to CBN4's Primetime News Package for this evening. I'm your presenter, Alian Christopher. First up tonight, the General Manager of the Dominica Solid Waste Corporation, Florian Mitchell, is calling on all Dominicans to separate their waste materials for general pickup. Mitchell indicated that separation of the waste materials remains a key factor. He also noted that there are different stakeholders here in Dominica who collect the different waste materials.
You need to separate your waste. Not just your MSW, but even post-Maria. I mean, we see the nature of the debris, lots of wood, lots of zinc, mattress, and all other appliances, derelict vehicles, all those things. I mean, there is a way to dispose of those materials. And we're calling on the general public. I mean, if you're not aware or cognizant of what it is that you ought to do, you could always contact the Dominica Solid Waste Corporation or the entities like the EHD or the Roseau City Council. We are all stakeholders and can guide the general public as to the ways of disposing of those said material. Again, separate your wood. Do not put your wood and your galvanized together because there are different and multiple stakeholders at play in collecting the material. Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Public Works, Solid Waste, Environmental Health, with the supervision, with the City Council, we all play a role in ensuring that our island is back pristine. And that's why we are again appealing to the general public. Separate your wood, separate your galvanized. The material will be collected by different crews and it will be disposed at different locations. And that is one of the things that we are appealing and asking the general public to do, is to ensure that the waste is separated. It makes it easier for the collection crew.
The General Manager also made mention of a growing concern for the Dominica Solid Waste Corporation. He advised the general public to only put out waste materials when the equipments are available in their areas.
Try to put out the material, only put out that material when that vehicle is available. Do not dirty for us after the equipment have passed, and which we have seen in numerous communities. I mean, not just within the city, but throughout the rural areas as well. You would have seen collection equipment, whether it's galvanized or wood, in a particular community. Now the area is clean and free of debris, and 2 seconds after that equipment has gone and left, you would have seen probably somebody cleaning their yard and put some material out or put other things. So that's what we're asking the general public to ensure that you put the material out before the collection equipment is within your community, so we do not have to collect those materials 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times.
Mitchell said the Dominica Solid Waste Corporation continues to provide its services to the general public with a mandate to keep Dominica clean. And BCAD, the Dominica's Builders and Contractors Association, announced their disappointment in the government's decision to build 1,000 homes in Dominica through a Barbadian company post-Maria. The organization described the venture as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for persons within the construction field. President of the Dominica Builders and Contractors Association, Anthony LeBlanc, emphasized that BCAD requested an urgent audience with the Prime Minister but have not received a response, although they have made several attempts.
Why, we ask, is the administration ignoring legitimate concerns of the private sector? What are the private sector's concerns with the award of the contract? The issues at hand. In the reported award of a major housing contract by the government, the Builders and Contractors Association of Dominica, BCAD, and indeed the engineers, architects, and the wider DBF are concerned about one, the absence of local opportunity. That notwithstanding BCAD's and the JCCC's efforts over the last 2.5 years to engage and collaborate with the government of Dominica on delivery of housing, the local construction sector was not contacted or given an opportunity to be engaged in delivery of housing post-Tropical Erika and now post-Hurricane Maria.
LeBlanc lamented that a project of such magnitude would benefit those directly and indirectly in the construction field. According to him, Dominica has skilled workers and qualified engineers and technicians who are capable of handling such projects. The association feels that the government's decision to sign a contract with the Barbadian company is taking away what they consider bread and butter from those in the construction field. LeBlanc noted that the shortage of skilled workers in Dominica is a concern. However, he believes that this issue should be addressed through the provision of training of skilled workers.
growing shortage of labor, of skilled labor. And we have been trying over the years to work with the government to ensure that many more people are trained and certified as competent to do construction, to be involved as construction workers. The shortage that we have now would be far less acute if that was done. And not only that, the intention of the vast majority of the leading contractors were to remunerate, to pay more those persons who have gone through the certification process and a trade. So it would be less acute and less of a situation that they want to go to St. Martin or Tortola for a better deal. We'll be able to give them that deal here. And notwithstanding how much training we do, we still cannot stop the migration. So we would have to train more than we think we need in order to relieve that problem that we're having now.
Meantime, Severin Mackenzie, president of the Dominica Business Forum and the Manufacturers Association, revealed that if the government continues to ignore the recommendations made by the Builders and Contractors Association, Dominica will lose a vital part of its workforce.
We also recognize the fact that Dominica, the wages paid in the construction industry in Dominica is the lowest in the Eastern Caribbean. So which means it is for some of our construction workers who are more inclined to seek the dollar will migrate to the other countries where the payment is more, because there is also a high demand in the USVIs, in the BVIs, and in some of the other, St. Martin and some of the other islands, that we are going to lose some of our skills and our workers, the labor force. Because we do not believe that Dominica is going to be able to attract workers from the outside to come down to help us. If we get workers coming in from the outside, from the other islands, then homeowners can start bracing themselves because the wages will go up.
Mackenzie stated that the association would like to know what is the government's plan for the reconstruction process and how does the private sector fall into these plans so that they may be able to come up with solutions for the benefit of the people of Dominica. And also making our headlines, fishermen and farmers alike affected by the passing of the hurricane are being encouraged by the Prime Minister to fill out the forms made available by the Ministry of Agriculture. The Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit stated that the forms are needed to be filled in as quickly as possible, and this is the final step.
It's important for us to have those funds in quickly so that the monies can be made available to the farmers. The funds are available, but we have to ensure that we do it properly and we can account for every single dollar that we make available to the farming community, the fishermen and farmers. So please go ahead and fill these forms. It's a decent amount of money per farmer, and every little dollar you get will help you. So let us move quickly and have those forms filled out and deposit them with the Ministry of Agriculture, so that we open that before the end of the year you should be getting your checks. I'm really appealing to the farmers and the fishermen, to go out and fill the forms quickly.
Skerrit continued to encourage the farmers and the fishermen to apply and fill out the forms. He said that the monies are not to be repaid and will go a long way in helping the farmers and fishermen rebuild and get back on their feet to continue business as usual. And stay tuned for more local news highlights after this break.
Please don't drift away. 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 Roll on should segment to your paradise.
And welcome back to CBN4's Primetime News. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has announced that a decision will be taken in the next few days concerning the curfew hours. Since the hurricane, Dominica has been placed under a state of emergency coupled with curfew hours. The current curfew hours run from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily to facilitate economic activity. That has been in effect since October 24, 2017.
I think a decision on the curfew should be made in the next few days. There's still discussions going on among the competent authorities on either limiting the hours further or removing the curfew altogether. So I am hoping that within the next couple of days, today being Wednesday, maybe hopefully by Friday, Monday, that a definitive position would be taken on which do you go with. Do you go with removing the curfew altogether and putting an end to the state of emergency, because the state of emergency legally can only go up until December 31. Okay? If we're to extend it, we'll have to get the authority or the parliament to extend it. So, and I don't want to make any comment publicly to prejudice the competent authorities discussing and advising on this matter, because I have my own personal views on the issue of the curfew and the state of emergency. But I will wait for the competent authority to advise the state on this, and we can take it forward. But I don't want to say much more than that to compromise the discussion that's taking place at the level at which it's currently taking place. But all I can say on this is that a decision will be taken on it one way or the other in the next few days.
And since the passing of the hurricane on September 18th, talks of building better and making Dominica the first climate resilient country has surfaced. With a 90% of infrastructural damage, Dominica is seeking to implement new building codes and standards with the assistance of the Planning Division to ensure the enforcement and implementation of those codes. President of the Dominica Society of Architects, Claude Latour, says the building better means understanding the role of architects in the rebuilding process.
Architects are required to continually improve their ability in order to respond to the constantly rising level of technological complexity and newly developed design methods that will help us to mitigate the impact of natural hazards to the built environment, design with greater consideration for our ecosystem and improve the quality of life of our society.
According to Latour, there are several lessons learned from Maria and some vulnerabilities to be addressed.
First of all, preparation. Were we prepared for Maria? In terms of meteorological forecast, I read an article from DNO dated of 2012, where they are saying days before forecasters predicted the hurricane would spread Dominica and hit Barbados instead. But hours before moving closer to the islands, the hurricane shifted and headed for Dominica. Although it was clear David was coming, the residents did not appear to take the situation seriously. And it seems there's a lot of rapprochement between what happened with David and how people take the warnings and what happened with Maria as well. 38 years after, Maria was category 1 and it was supposed to pass at the south, between Guadeloupe and Dominica. And forecast after, it was a category 3 and the path was passing south of Dominica. Couple hours later, it was a category 4 passing on the south part of Dominica. And we know the rest. The hurricane passed through us with all the destruction that happened. So, question I have, do we take storm warning seriously in Dominica? Like a lot of people like to say, we have a tendency to forget what happened. When something happens, everybody know about that, everybody want to do better and to change the mentality and so on. And a couple of years after, if nothing's continuing to happen, people tends to go back to the normal habits and so on and not be prepared anymore. So there's some elements.
The president of the Dominica Society of Architects believes that Dominica can become a resilient country if much of the recommendations given to improve standards and address disaster preparedness are achieved. And also in the news this evening, Vince Henderson has indicated that geothermal energy holds great potential for Dominica and also a key component to the country's development. He also noted that with geothermal energy, it will be able to reduce the cost of generating electricity, which will be of great benefit to households and businesses. The ambassador also said that geothermal energy will give Dominica an opportunity to become energy independent.
So for example, we're hit by a hurricane, unfortunately. We don't have to worry about the importation of fuel to generate electricity because it is coming from the Earth's crust. It's coming from all the way down. It's the heat coming from the Earth, going all the way, coming up from a mile down, coming up, steam being used to generate, to power turbines and of course to generate electricity. So geothermal energy holds great potential for Dominica. Now that is for domestic, but it also has the potential for the export of electricity through submarine cables to Guadeloupe and Martinique because there is a great demand for clean, renewable sources of energy to the French territories, our neighbors. So it has great potential. It could be a foreign exchange earner. If we sell power to them, they pay us in euros. We actually be earning foreign exchange by the sale of electricity. So it holds great potential for Dominica and is the key to Dominica's development.
Henderson says that prior to Hurricane Maria, the government of Dominica was advanced with the development of the geothermal energy project, first for domestic supply, with 7 megawatts being added to the Domlec grid.
So before Maria, we are at the stage where we had finalized the environment and social impact assessment study, at least on the ground. We had already done that, conducted that. We had already secured the financing to construct the plant and operate. We had already gotten advance with our negotiations with Domlec in a power purchase agreement to determine the terms and conditions under which we'll be selling power to them. We were in discussions with the Independent Regulatory Commission on Electricity, the IRC. Basically, everything was in place. Our financing from the World Bank, we had gotten to the stage where all the last mission actually should have been conducted the week of Maria. So I came to Dominica 2 days before Maria hit, and so did our consultants, the team from the World Bank team, our advisors, our business consultant, our legal counsel got to San Juan, didn't make it, and our project manager from New Zealand. We were all on island when Maria hit. So that mission in September was supposed to have been the last mission before approval of the financing for the actual construction of the plant. So we were really, one can say, almost there.
He also indicated that almost 2 to 3 months of work have been lost due to the impacts of the hurricane. And the Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Calypso Association, Davidson Observer Victor, states that the Calypso 2018 season will go on as usual despite setbacks. Observer indicated to CBN4 during an interview that all dates are set for the Calypso season and the patrons can expect all 4 shows which the Calypso Association is normally responsible for putting on. The 4 shows that were mentioned by the Observer are the eliminations, quarterfinals, semifinals, and, of course, the grand finals.
Well, the 16th of December is going to be the first show, which is the elimination. And we already have registered Calypsonians in numbers already. The venue is either, we're not sure as to the venue yet, but in the next few days we should have the venue confirmed. But the venue should either be Harlem Plaza or the Newtown Savannah. So either one, it's right in the same vicinity of the Newtown community, so it doesn't be a problem for us. But we are moving full steam ahead, and eliminations is going to be on the 16th of December, that is the Saturday, and we are looking to have a fantastic show as usual.
Victor states that the Swinging Stars band had to resort to the Calypso House in Bath Estate for practices due to the damages suffered to its band house in Ems Hall. Victor said that this is just a minor challenge. Here now is a clip of a few Calypso performances.
The same reason why some Dominicans choose to roll is the reason why I choose to stay at home. I'm just a dreamer with a desire to score one big one for Dominica. Yeah. And Mama Dominica, I want you to be part of my success story. It's my reality.
Tell me how she will prosper. Despite the rising suicide, more barrels on the roadside. I love this country. If I have to suffer, let it be. Why to go for it? My love, my country.
When it came, I got my opportunity, but wasting the chasing after money. Now my own people presenting me my daily troubles overburden me. I'm in too deep, but I can't quit. Yet my beat is gone down. From which I can recover. Was my trip to Malaysia and international that was born there. Oh Lord.
And that takes us to the end of the Primetime News package for this evening. If you've missed any of the stories, you can catch up on CBN4.com or on our Facebook page. Until our next broadcast, I am Alien Christopher saying thank you for watching.